Hey everyone, Livy here, back with another video, and today we are doing a very anticipated tag by me. As soon as I came back, it's the to tarot space, like actually watching videos, I should say. I saw that this tag was back. So this is the mid-year tarot tag, I guess 2024 edition. This is a VR to Chanel over at Chanel Days. Guess as a channel name change, I think. By the way, I came back and a lot of Tarot 2 people had changed their channel names, and I was briefly taken aback. I had to figure out who was who again. Anyways, mid-year tarot tag, what is that? Basically, I examine tarot and how the first half of the year has been going so far with that and decks and everything. So there's going to be prompts. I'm going to put the prompts down below so you guys can follow along. But yeah, let's just get right into it. Prompt number 1 says, deck you use the most so far in 2024. And here's the hilarious part about this. Every time I'm trying to figure out what that is, you know, just in general, I always refer to my tarot journal, except my tarot journal basically told me, haha, psych, there's actually 3 tarot decks that you have used exactly the same amount of time. So I'm technically cheating here, and I'm going to show the 3 decks that I have used the most this year, because I guess there's no tiebreaker yet. It probably will be by the end of this month. By the way, I'm filming in June, so probably will be a clear winner out of these 3. But let me just show you, okay? Okay, these are my 3. Oh, I should probably take this one out. Haha, sorry. These are my 3. These are my 3 that I've used the most this year. Although technically, if we want to put a 4th in there, I guess the Monsoon Tarot would have been a close 4th place. But yeah, these 3, I have used these the most. Spoiler alert, this deck I am using for 2 months in a row. So this probably will be the number 1 used so far, at least until the end of the year rolls around, kind of jazz. Oops, oh my God, Jesus Christ, I'm like dropping things. I don't know what's happening today. Spark and Pen Tarot. This will probably be the number 1 winner. I will get to showing that, but let's look at these 2 first. The Goblins and Gardens Tarot, Lillifer Tarot. I love both of these so much. This one is like a much slower release. There we go. Love both of these decks. It makes sense that these would be up here, but it's interesting to see how differently the 2 kind of showed up. So let me just kind of get into that. I don't know what's happening up here. I'm like flinging things every which way. Don't know. Don't know why. Don't know how. No, I do know how, but I'm just, yeah. We'll start with these 2. I love both of these decks. And interestingly, both of them were featured in my All My Rage decks video. I love both of these, but interestingly, Lillifer was one of the ones I used the most for when I was feeling a lot of emotions. Whereas the Goblins and Gardens Tarot was kind of the deck that I was going to a lot for readings, where I was trying to heal and move past my problems. So it's like, I guess I needed both of these things this year. Oh, I still love this card. And so that's why I was using a lot of both of these decks. By the way, my lighting is really bad in here right now. I don't know what the hell is happening, but just jive with it, guys. Okay, it is what it is. But yeah, they serve 2 different functions, but I was using these a lot. But funny enough, so I'm showing you this, right? Showing you both of these. But funny enough, there is a reason why the Spark and Pen Tarot is probably going to overtake it. And that is because I found that this deck is really good for doing kind of the job that both the Lillifer and the Goblins and Gardens have been doing, okay? Well, sorry, I'm like putting decks away at the same time. I have like this issue. I have to put the decks away at the same time that I'm using them. Okay. But anyways, Spark and Pen. I love this tarot. I've talked about this. Is probably one of my soul decks now, along with like the Raven's Prophecy tarot. These are the beautiful rainbow backs. Here for it. Best linen cardstock ever. This is the deck. This full card is everything, okay? I'm sorry. This is just the greatest. I love this deck's use of colors, okay? But anyways, this deck is fascinating. It's very emotional. Oh, spoiler, sorry. Not spoiler. Content warning, there is a lot more nudity in this deck than I normally go for. For some reason, almost none of the people in this deck have clothes. I have no freaking clue why. It just is what it is, but I really like the art. Anyways, this deck is probably going to be my most used, at least so far of this year, or the first half of the year, because I have been using this deck for pretty much anything. This has been, I guess, almost like what's that term people use? Workhorse deck. And it might just be because, again, I feel like this card gets me. No, I need to pass it up. It like gets me every time. This deck has been used for literally anything. I've used it for when I was all up in my feelings. I've used it for important readings. I've used it kind of like when I'm just trying to gauge energy, gauge everything. Great use of color. And so it like really helps evoke some of the moods and feelings and such that I've just been trying to get from my readings. Very, very powerful. And so is it a surprise that it's going to be my, this Devil card is so good too. Is it a surprise that this deck is going to be my #1 most used probably by the end of this month? No, does not surprise me at all. So just pointing that out there. This deck has been good. I've even taken it to my in-person tarot events that I've had so far. Oh, I love the Strength card too. And this Hierophant. Okay, stop. I need to stop. I need to stop. I love this deck. So it's a no-brainer for me. And yeah. And sorry, this was a very long-winded way of just saying. And this is just the first freaking prompt. I need to go faster with these. I think it's because I'm like on like middle of the day brain, and that brain doesn't know how to function. So bear with me. I'm sorry. #2 in this tag is a new deck that came into your collection. I mean, I had a few. Let's be honest here. I have. But I guess I will share the Tarot of Echoes today. Why not? I'll make this quick. Signed by Anaturian. Don't know when the next edition or any of this is coming out, if it'll go mass market or not, but these are the backs. I have one deck that just has a slight printing error. I don't know what the hell happened, but that's okay. I don't fully mind that. Anyways, the cards. Let's talk about the cards and not like other bullshit. This deck is beautiful. I guess that's why I'm showing it off. I love the colors. This Magician is so freaking badass. It's just a really interesting deck. I've always adored Anaturian's art, but I never had it in a deck form. I know she has several decks out there, some that are indie, some that are mass market, and just never had any of them until now. So yeah, I've been really enjoying this. I mean, I use it in March. Oh, this Temperance card is so good. I use it in March. And I had a good time with it. I don't know. This will probably come back out maybe by the end of the year. I don't know. But I'm just enjoying it. I just had a good time. So yeah, that's the Tarot of Echoes for you. And I'm going to move on from here. So let's do it. Let's move on to something else. Prompt #3 says most anticipated deck that was released this year. Now, I mean, I'm not usually somebody who falls along with like mass market trends. The deck I'm going to show you is not a mass market. It is an indie deck. And I think it was released this year. I mean, I bought it this year. I'm pretty sure it was. And I guess it's most anticipated, but really only to me. I mean, I guess that's the point too, but anyways. And it's not even the most anticipated. I will say I have some Kickstarters that I am literally salivating and just waiting, but I'll talk about that further down on this prompt list. I'm still waiting for them though. It has not come out yet, so I guess this is the only one so far. This is the Nemeth Tarot. Wow. Wow. What do I say? It's signed too. This is a deck that was most anticipated for me because I was actually stalking Yonasa Yaus's Instagram, just waiting and looking at her progress shots of this deck. These are the backs, by the way. This deck is massive too. I have small hands and I'm like barely able to grip this shit, but I still love it. Anyways, Nemeth Tarot. Why is this deck a big fucking deal to me? Why was it most anticipated? And that is because this deck is based on Galician mythology. And for those who don't know or did not watch my Nemeth video when I was kind of like deep diving into this and talking about this, is Galicia. Yes, it's in Spain. Very true. It is in Spain. However, its history is very complicated. And one of the complications of this history is that technically Galician as a language, like Galician language, is actually closer to Portuguese than it is to Spanish. So there you go there, right? Portuguese. And if you don't know, I am Portuguese. Also, there is a lot of overlap between their culture and mythology and ours. Portuguese mythology, I should say. At least ancient shit, right? So, this is kind of like if Galicia, in my eyes, is kind of like if you took some very small crummin of Spain, and then you transplanted also Portuguese into it, that baby would be Galicia, basically. And like this, shit like this right here, this, literally Portuguese. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about that's in Spain? Even this, I'm like, what the shit? This basically looks like Portugal. Like, it's very, it just gets me. It's very, this is very ancestral, and that is why this was my most anticipated, because I knew the guidebook for this deck has not come out yet, so I am still like waiting and like salivating, I guess, for that. But I knew that this deck was gonna like send me somewhere very familiar and to that place, and that's why it was so anticipated for me. And as you can see, this deck is also, that's the other thing to note, traditional Portugal Galicia has a lot of Celtic roots in it, and that, this especially, shut the fuck up, this is basically I've talked about this too, this is like basically Portugal. It has a lot of overlap, and originally, yes, would have been Celtic in origin before the fucking Romans came in. And I know I shouldn't be cursing them out, whatever, but, they came in and kind of messed everything up. And then we had another group of people who came in and messed everything up. And basically then both sides were fighting. But, it is what it is. This deck is so good. And yeah, it was my most anticipated for that reason. So that is the Nemeth Tarot. I'm sorry. I'm pausing just for a second because I just realized there is a card in this deck that I'm going to need to talk about later. So you'll see that one later. But anyways, let's move on. That was Nemeth Tarot. And we're going to get into the next one. Oops, sorry. I don't know what's happening. Okay, sorry about that. Brief intermission. Prompt number 4 for this mid-year tarot tag is your biggest disappointment. And really, should any of you be surprised if you watched my one video where I was ranting about this deck and some others? I mean, technically I could have also put the Heartscape Tarot here, but I'm not going to give an AI deck any more screen time. So let's just look at this one. This is probably the biggest of all them disappointments. This is a Zodiac Tarot in a tin, okay? And the reason why this deck disappointed me so much is because if you know anything about US games, tarots in a tin, they are usually really good, okay? They're usually. This is not a usually case. This is a, I'm still angry, and you can tell I'm still angry case. Usually, their tarots in a tin are very good, but they made the stupid ass decision to do this. See that? See how you can see my camera in the shot and see everything in the shot? That's because this deck is so nasty glossy that that's what happens. You can see everything. And I hate it. I hate it here. I hate it here. Even if it's like easy like this to shuffle, like, oh yeah, it's gloss, haha, I can shuffle it so easy. This is not the usual quality of their tin decks. And that's what pisses me off. This is why it's my biggest disappointment. And also the backs of this deck are disappointing. But anyways, this deck had the potential to be so good. Because when this deck originally came out in its normal version, I knew it was glossy finish like this. And I thought I was being smart by getting the tin. Because I said to myself, oh, well, you know, the White Sage Tarot has great card stock. The Morgan Greer Tarot in a tin also has really good card stock. So it must be the same card stock they're going to use, right? For this deck? No, it was not. People, it was not, and that pissed me off. I'm still angry. I wanted to, it's not that I'm not gonna try to use this deck. It's not that I'm not gonna, you know, give it a fighting chance. It is a tarot in a tin. It's a good size. Like, I could take this around and, you know, do things, and I think people would like readings from this. That's why I got it, but it is my biggest disappointment because this cardstock literally feels like hell in my hands because I have sensory issues with glossy cardstock. And look it, I go like this, and you can literally like see like my fingerprints and smudges, and it's like, no, why? Why did you do this? Like, please. Why didn't you use your usual good tin deck cardstock? So disappointing. I have to move on before I rage quit, okay? Sorry. Anyways, let's move on. Oh, Jesus. Okay, problem number 5 was my biggest surprise for this year. And I guess that is this one. This is the Forager's Daughter Tarot. Now, side bit here. This deck, I technically bought this deck last year, okay? I bought this deck at the end of September, I think. And then I didn't really get it, I don't think, until, I'm pretty sure I didn't actually get it until October. Not important. What is important is that I didn't use this deck, okay? Did not use this deck at all last year, even though I got it last year. It was beautiful, though. I think wait, did I talk about this deck? Maybe I did. I don't remember. My brain is like shitting out right now, so sorry for you who have to watch this video, but yeah. Anyways, Forager's Daughter. I didn't really use this deck until this year. And I have to say, this was my biggest surprise because I did not know what to expect from this. This deck, by the way, it also has glossy cardstock, as you can see, as the light hits it and stuff. This also has glossy cardstock, but the only reason why I tolerate this type of glossy cardstock versus the one I just showed is that this is linen finish for one, so it's linen glossy. That's a very different league. Even the Gardens and Goblins Tarot, or Goblins and Gardens, sorry, why did I garble them both up in my mouth? Even that one has linen glossy finish, but this feels okay. It doesn't leave nasty smudges and fingerprints. This is actually good. If all glossy cardstock was like this, okay, linen, good quality, not sticky, nasty caca, then maybe I would be okay with more glossy cardstock. But that's, sorry, this is not a video that's supposed to devolve into that, okay? I'm sorry. Why was this my biggest surprise? Because this deck actually read really beautifully. And I paired it with its chunky guidebook, which I should have brought out, but I left it somewhere. And it was just beautiful. It was exactly the kind of deck I needed. It gave very beautiful readings. It was perfect for the time of year I read with it, which was in January. And I don't know, it was just fantastic. And oh, this Empress is so beautiful too. And as you can see, this is an animal deck, so not everybody would like this kind of thing, right? I realize that. This deck is also more, insects. More insects, I guess, sorry. I'm saying a lot of ums today. This is how you know I'm on my last 2 brain cells. See? I just really like this, okay? It shocked me because when I pulled it out initially, I was having a moment of buyer's regret where I wondered, should I have gotten this deck? And that's because this deck was very expensive. So maybe that's why it was like more buyer's remorse for having spent $75 USD for this. So yes, it is on the pricier side, but it's a bundle and it includes that big book plus this deck. It is on the pricier side, so you kind of do want to be sure that you want this deck before you get it. But it surprised me in how amazing it read. And so in the end, I was like, oh shit, okay, this was worth it. This was worth spending the money. Now, I would, again, for other people, oh, and there's a lot of good extra cards like this one. But for other people, you just got to make sure you know that you want this deck before you buy it, I think. Because if you know you're not someone, if you're someone who doesn't like animal decks usually, I don't think you will probably like this. But if you do like animal decks and this isn't in your collection, maybe, yeah, take a chance. But I really like this one. And it surprised me how much I did. So Forager's Daughter will be using again sometime. Maybe later half of the year. I don't know. Debating. But yeah. Moving on. Prompt number 6 is your deck crush. Deck that you're in love with. And the deck I have to show today, let me tell you, I literally got it today this day of filming. I got this deck. And it is already my deck crush. Because I also already filmed a whole video about this deck that will eventually end up on this channel. Don't know when, but it will. Where I basically autistic info dump all over the place about this. But let's get into it. My current deck crush right now is this beauty. This is the Mythos Tarot. Specifically, this is Asphodelin or I don't know. I've just been saying Asphodelin. Not sure how you really pronounce that. But this is their Mythos Tarot. My search for the perfect mythology deck is over, guys. This is it. This is my perfect mythology deck. This is the backs. This is the gilding. Gold. You know, that's not new. But I'm here for the artwork. Okay? Because also, someone's going to come at me, this cardstock, if you have this deck too. It is a matte, as you can see. It is matte. Kind of smoothish. Not the best cardstock, but it's not the worst cardstock. This isn't like the nasty literary tarot cardstock, okay? I could still use this deck. It's just not like the greatest thing. But I am here. I'm here specifically for these images. Guys, Pandora. Oh my God, beautiful. Demeter, like, let's go. Sisyphus, yes, I'm here. Trojan, horse. This is just perfect, okay? I'm sorry. This is my deck crush because I will never shut the fuck up about this deck until the end of time now. Okay? Greek mythology is my shit. It is one of my special interests. I studied Greek mythology in school, and my biggest issue with Greek mythology decks until now is that they either never covered enough were too focused on one character, or their art style was ugly. Those three, I'm so picky and mean. Oh my God. Those three things resulted in me saying no to pretty much any other Greek mythology inspired deck, or most of them, that I had seen on the market. Then one day, I was on Instagram and I saw Marine over at the Waves of Your Soul showing this, and I flipped my ever-loving shit and knew I had to get this immediately, and I do not regret this at all. This is an indie deck, though. It is in the US, so for me, it was fine. It's like average indie deck price these days. I think it was like almost $60, but not quite. Or maybe it was $60 after tax. I don't know. So that's like typical indie deck prices these days. But this is my deck crush because it is beautiful. It shows so many different myths. I will say it's mostly focused around Persephone, okay? Most of it is focused around Persephone and her journey, but it is not the whole deck. You see Olympians, you see heroes, you see nymphs like Daphne, right? You see stories and things that a lot of people just don't, for some reason, feature in their Greek mythology inspired decks. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you need to have the diversity, like, of stories that this one does. I don't know. I'm just happy, I guess, is what I'm saying. This is my crush because finally, right? This is like my long lost love. I'm like, where were you my whole life? Why weren't you here until now? I don't know. I'm just losing it. Yeah. I'm just obsessed. Okay. Oh, and Eros and Psyche as the 10. So good. Yes. I'm here for this deck. I will always love this deck. I don't care. You will have to pry this deck from my cold, dead hands. I love this one. If you like Greek mythology as much as I do, you should get this deck. Will warn you, this guidebook is very bare bones in here. This is why I'm not even showing it. It literally just gives you some keywords and a little blurb, a very tiny blurb for each of these of the cards. If you are not obsessed with Greek mythology as I am, you probably will have a hard time with this at first. But I don't. So yeah, that's why it's my crush. And yeah, moving on. Okay. Next deck here. Oh no, sorry. I'm going to show my favorite tarot card. That's what's next. Number 7 is favorite tarot card. And I guess for this year right now, I'm having a moment with this card from the Nemeth Tarot, because this is literally my culture right here. This is Portugal. When I saw that this was a part of Galician myth, I literally started losing my mind. I think I showed that on the video for the Nemeth Tarot, though. This is the rooster de Barcelos. It even says it right there. O galo de Barcelos. This is the symbol of Portugal. That rooster right there, the symbol of Portugal. This is a Portuguese story. I don't know how it also crosses over to Galicia. Maybe the actual town of Barcelos is actually in Galicia now. But the thing is that once upon a time, Galicia and Portugal were actually one. They were a part of each other. It wasn't until Spain started coming in and said, no, this region here is going to be us, not you, that happened. But anyways, I'm obsessed with this because I know this story by heart. I'm not going to info dump on that again because that was in my Nemeth video. Please just watch that one. But basically, this is a symbol of Portugal. It's a symbol of good luck. This is a sacrifice. This is a risk. This card shows this. That if this rooster had not crowed, this person would be actually dead. So this hangman here that looks like he's about to die, he's not actually going to die. So just so you know. But the day dawned, he was saved, everything good. So I love this, that this is shown here as the hangman, as it should. This is perfect. So favorite card because it actually showed that. Good shit. Moving on. I'm just dissolving in this video. We're going to move on to number 8, which is a deck that makes you happy. And right now, because it's Pride Month, bitches, this is the Queer Tarot. I don't know what's going on with me today. This is, again, just, I don't know. I swear, I only have water in here. I swear. This is a Queer Tarot. This deck makes me happy because it is queer. It is beautiful in color. And it's just fun. And it shows queer people enjoying their life and not being ashamed. So I am here for that, 100%. I got this deck from Aquamarine 18 here on Tarot. Laura got this deck. Didn't, they didn't want it. They said, hey, you want it? I said, yes, I'm here for this. I was actually thinking about getting this deck for a while. So I am so glad that one person's trash became my absolute treasure and joy. Look at these beautiful people. All these people are queer. All these people actually exist. They are models, right? They were drawn onto the cards RWS style, but they are models. I also love the colors in this deck. Some people might say this is too campy. I don't give a shit. This is a deck for me. I love the technique used in this deck. The risograph that makes like all these like things that other people be like, ew, why does it look like that? No, they intentionally did that. This deck is just fun and beautiful, and this is a perfect Pride deck. I'm sorry. Do I need another? Probably not. I don't. It's not even like, the weird thing about me too is like, yes, I'm LGBTQIA, whatever, but I don't always, compared to some people in the community, I don't always face the struggle as much. So I kind of like that this is just a deck of queer happiness, and that's all I need. Like, I don't think I need any other deck. So, yeah, this one, very, very good. Makes me happy. And we're just going to move on to, oh, God, I still have a couple prompts here. Okay, I'm going to move on so that we don't have to deal with me anymore. Number 9 is the most beautiful deck this year. And I know, here, that's the thing. I feel like this one is going to change because if by some miracle a lot of my Kickstarter decks finally fucking reach me, they might be more beautiful than the one I'm about to show, but I think this one is pretty fantastic so far. So let's get into it. This is the Lighted Window Tarot. This deck is, in my opinion, beautiful. I think it's so nice, even though it's a pip deck, guys. Did you ever think that I would love a pip deck so much? Look at these backs, beautiful right off the gate. Oh, it has a guidebook in there. That's also pretty good. It has these beautiful edges that look good. On camera, you guys are seeing them look like that. They're actually more orange, copper toned in person, but they are matte edging, but they have sparkle to them. Oh, and this devil card is everything. Stop. Okay. This deck is so good. I think it's the most beautiful because it has a lot of colors, as you can see, but it is intentional about its colors. The colors are really nice. They're very, I don't know. They're also muted at the same time. I don't find this deck like very eye strainy. If you're somebody who thought that the Queer Tarot was eye burner, this must be a breath of fresh air. This is much more muted. But as you can see, this is a pip deck. So if you are someone who knows you absolutely cannot do pip decks, no, do not get this deck, even if it is beautiful. But I bought this deck despite it being a pip deck, as you can see. Like, there's pips in here. I bought this deck despite it being pippish because I was obsessed with the artwork when I saw this on Kickstarter. And it finally reached me this year. I think it, well, no, not finally. I think this was actually a pretty quick turnaround. I think, yeah. I don't remember when the Kickstarter came out, but I feel like it was in the second half of the year and it already got to me. I don't know. This one wasn't bad though. And I think it's beautiful. I think it's intentional. I think it's just got such an interesting vibe. I haven't used it yet, but I feel like I'm going to be using this more in the second half of this year. So maybe I'll have more thoughts on it when that time comes around. But for now, I just think it's the most beautiful. And the cardstock's actually nice too. It's a matte lamination. It is on a little bit on a thicker side, but as you can see at the same time, it has like a good like bend to it. I don't know how it would do with you riffle shufflers out there. I don't know. But I don't know. I just like this one. So this is the lighted window. I think it's the most beautiful, at least of quality and stuff, that I've gotten this year. Okay, so there's that. Lighted window. Let's move on. Prompt number 10 is, what decks do you want by the end of the year and you're still waiting on? I literally have said this a few times now. All my freaking Kickstarter decks. My God. There's quite a bit of them. There's the Victorian Fairy Tarot. There's, Peculiar Pathways. That's Lennox's deck. I'm waiting for that deck. It had a bit of a blip, so that's why that one's taking longer. Otherwise, it probably already here. The Magical Creature Tarot by the same creator as Northern Animal. That's just a small slice of some of the ones that I am waiting by the end of the year. I'm just waiting. Just waiting for you. Please come to me soon. I don't know. Oh, yeah. So that's that. If I remember, I'll put pictures. If I can't remember, I'm sorry. Your shadow luck, please look it up. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Anyways, number 11 on this tag is, which deck hasn't been used yet, but you want to work with this year? And that is this one. Once Upon a Time Tarot. This is Low Scare Bayo, and I actually like it quite a bit, even though this is the first Low Scare Bayo deck I've had that has like a 2-piece box like this. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, I'm a liar. The Nicoletta Ciccoli also does, but it's a mini. I guess I just don't notice. Anyways, Once Upon a Time Tarot. This is Low Scare Bayo, as I said. These are the backs. I will be using this deck by the end of this year. I already know this. I plan to use this deck next month in July for my birthday month. So there you go. Another year older. Not wiser, but anyways, this deck, as you can see, also has great use of color. This is beautiful. And I'm excited for this because it features a lot of cool fairy tale stuff, like the moon being Little Red Riding Hood is so fucking good. Hansel and Gretel, you know. There's just a lot of cool stuff in here. Now, the one thing I said, the creator was very nice about this. She commented, I guess, found me, the artist, found me. And I was like, I'm sorry about it. But it's like, no, you didn't have to. It's like, it's okay. This is still a good deck. This is just like me nitpicking. The only thing I said was diversity. You see some, though. There's like this person. There's some diversity. I just wish like that it had a little more, only because some of these figures seem a little same-facey. Like this guy is almost the same as this guy, you know? But other than that, I really love the art of this deck. So that's like the smallest curmudgeon. Not every deck has to be diverse, I realize too. And it's probably better and for the best that not all decks are. See the same character. But other than that, I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this one because it's so stinking cute. It is, you know, fairy tale-esque. Good card, like, some people shit on Low Scare Bayo cardstock. They really don't like it. I don't know what it is about Low Scare Bayo cardstock, at least these kind, that's usually also like in their Edmund Duloc tarot, that I do love. I know some of their decks are glossy, and I've avoided those like the Black Plague, but you know, if it's not, I'm usually here for it. So I can't wait to use this deck in next month. I actually have a really cool theme for July, so very excited for that. But yeah, Once Upon a Time Tarot. Next month, I will be doing that. But actually, while I'm closing out, I can do prompt number 12 because there's nothing to see for that, really, I guess. Question number 12 was your favorite video you've made. And here's the thing. You guys know I've been having a rough year. Let's just say that. A rough year of birth. My 30th year, not great, but interestingly enough, my favorite deck, wow. This is what I mean by my last two brain cells just clacking together. My favorite video I made this year does probably have to be my core card in practice video. I feel like that was a really good one because it actually explained to people how to use the core cards, because I know not everybody has problems with the core cards, but it's interesting how many people I've encountered who have. So that video basically talks about that, okay? Like, you should watch that. If you should actually watch that whole series. Maybe that's my favorite. I think some of it I started last year, so that's kind of cheating. But the end of the series was this year, and I do think that people should watch that because, yeah, that's the most informative. That's when I actually had a script. I read out off the scripts because I didn't want to forget any information. I did that shit. Instead of like the trash can raccoon you got today, that was actually informative. So I do think that's the best video I made this year, was the ending of that series. But I do think if you are someone struggling with the core cards, you should just watch that whole series, and hopefully that'll help you out. Yeah. I mean, in that series, I do go a lot into the archetypes of the decks. I mean, the core cards. But you don't have to see it as just specific people either. I kind of give a very general overview of like personality and stuff of the cards. So yeah. But anyways, wow. This video was something. I'm just gonna leave and hopefully don't lose like 5 million followers in the process. I don't even have that many, but you know what I mean. Subscribers, not even followers. See, I can't even get anything right today. Holy shit. I'm gonna leave. Thank you all for watching if you survived this long, and I will see you all again next time. Bye.